Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So glad you could join us again. I'm very excited today because I'm joined with Yoke van Dam, a very good friend of mine. She's known as the Kintsugi Queen. She works with leaders and teams that may have become disjointed and helps them to reconnect and find their flow again. She's in leadership and personal transformation, an international trainer and keynote speaker, a professional member of PSASA, that's a Professional Speakers Association, and the founder of Y Connect. Hello, Yuka. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Michael. I'm doing very well. Thanks so
Yay.
much.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit more about you and Y Connect.
So I started Y Connect with the purpose of really helping people change behavior, but the business really evolved since 2017. And what's quite exciting, you were talking about the Kintsugi Queen. I've really found that that is my sweet spot, team transformation, taking that broken pot and putting it back together. Because what I've found is a lot of the teams that I'm literally going to be working with in this next month is
Mhm,
where people have left, where a company went through a lot of restructure,
mhm.
where they're stopping to trust each other. In some companies, they actually had to liquidate a certain business, and people have gone through a lot of change management, and now they need to find their flow again. And then on the other hand, with the leadership, I found if you impact one leader, you have a massive ripple effect. So I have a lot of leadership coaching clients, but what's exciting is I also work with groups of leaders. I have these leadership programs coming up where we're doing a lot of work on culture, creating the kind of culture they want, what's their purpose, and really just realigning the right type of leadership skills because a lot of people were just promoted into leadership for years and years and years, and they've never actually learned that, there's a way to lead people and also a way to manage people. And they've been so scared that they don't want to micromanage that they do nothing. So
Yeah.
it's about finding that sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot, yes. So a lot of people are now coming, they get into a place where they know that they have to help other people and they have to share their knowledge and wisdom. How did you get to that place? What was your life-changing story?
So for many years, I was very frustrated. I was working in the corporate industry, marketing textbooks to Oxford and Pearson publishers, and I felt like I had no calling. I would be driving 7 hours a day to a destination to go and do a presentation. And when I finally got to this small little FET college, the people would not even be there for my appointment. So I now had to go motivate them out of the classrooms to come listen to my presentation and then drive a very long distance back. And I did not even see the sea. So I felt like I am traveling. I'm not doing any fulfilling work. I felt like my talents weren't being used at all. And I was like, there must be a greater purpose to have been born in South Africa at this time and to, you have a calling in your life. And I went on this mission and I was like, what is it that I'm supposed to do? And one day I attended a presentation of a professional speaker. It was actually a presentation skills course, and Deshan Dazel, and she spoke about how she climbs Everest many times and how she comes back, and then she speaks about resilience, self-discipline, perseverance, and how she had to actually pay attention to what type of food is she eating so that she can pick up weight because while you're climbing Everest, you lose 10% of your body weight.
Oh,
So you
sure.
need to be very strategic. And
Yeah.
afterwards, you actually have to change your diet again because now you can't eat the same amount of chocolates you're eating on
Yes.
Everest, you know? So I found that to be so interesting,
Hmm.
and that she could actually have speaking and facilitation as a career. And I was like, wow, when I was in high school, me and my sister used to do drama, and we were always in these musicals, singing, dancing, acting, but I never wanted to go into acting. I didn't see it as a sustainable career. And you was a career where you could be on stage, you could be connecting with people. So you have that audience factor. You could bring in theatrics if you wanted. but it was more a professional industry.
Yes.
And that's where that was like a life-changing moment for me. So I basically went and I said to her, how do I get into this industry? And she,
Yes.
at that time, they did not, I don't know if at 2008 the Professional Speakers of Southern Africa was even there yet, but she said to me, join Toastmasters, and that's where I met you as well many
Yeah,
years later.
that's right.
And that was the founding ground for me for years and years of actually building my voice as a speaker, developing my facilitation skills, um, getting the confidence. And I think, I don't know if you also a big fan of Malcolm Gladwell, you know, you wrote Outliers and Tipping
Yeah.
Point, and he always says you need to do your 10,000 hours before you're an expert. And I felt that Toastmasters was my 10,000 hours. For 10 years, I did all of that work, coaching people, mentoring people, leading teams. You were a district, you were a division director. I was area director. You were leading people, was all voluntary. But that's where you kind of like find your sea legs in
Yeah,
terms of
definitely.
speaking and leading. And I think that was a very big part of my journey.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm so glad I met you because yeah, we've had some wonderful times together, and it's so nice when you can meet someone on a, another person who's also into personal growth and development, and grow together, and we share ideas, and it's really special. So thank you for that. Yes.
And that's where we found our overlap and our love for NLP. So
Yeah.
that was
You both
my
have done
other,
NLP
that
as
was
well.
my,
Yeah.
that was my other thing when there was actually a guy that was in my Toastmaster club, Tony Rue. And what happened when I was at Pearson Publishers is they, they actually merged two companies internationally, and then they had to merge the companies locally. And it was quite hectic because we all had to reapply for our jobs. And
Oh,
for me, having been at that company and having that conflicting thing of, I don't really want to do this, I hate my job. Now you have to go and sell yourself to those same
okay.
people. So I was freaking out because I was single, living on my own. I had car payments, I had rent. I could not have a job. And I went to this friend of mine, Donnie Rue, and he said to me, just come through for an NLP coaching session. Like I'll give it to you complimentary. Just come through. It might be something that you want to study towards your coaching and the career you want to get into.
Hmm.
And I literally drove in my lunchtime to meet him at a coffee shop, or I think maybe it was at his house. And he did this process with me. And I visualized myself standing on stage, speaking in front of people, kind of the things that I'm doing now in my business.
Yes.
But I visualized that. And we actually worked through the blocks and also visualized what are the steps I need to take. And it was this beautiful process. And what I saw is, it was an hour. I had to quickly drive back to the office, and I walked back into the office, and the people said to me, what happened to you? And I said, what do
Oh,
you mean? They
wow.
said, you're so calm. Your whole face has shifted, your body language. You look completely different from the Yuka that left, an hour and a half ago. We can just see. And what that helped me with is I realized that even though that job wasn't the end game, I needed the security. So I could actually apply for the job, get it, while
Yes.
I was looking for different options. And I got something else, so then I could resign. But what I realized is for you, you need to actually manage your state. And when you are completely in fight and flight mode, freaking out, that doesn't actually have the right energy to give you the opportunities that you need. Whether it's selling a product or a service, getting into a relationship, or convincing people that they should be hiring you.
Yeah.
So that introduction to NLP was also a big game changer.
Yeah. Very, very powerful. Lots of techniques. It's great for coaching. So, yeah. So, very exciting. You completed our personal growth course in one of my membership clubs. What was that experience like for you?
I think what was very helpful is we had a manual, and it actually broke down broke down the work that we did into small chunk sizes.
Mm.
So every week we met as a group and we had to read certain things and do certain homework and then present it back to the group or have discussions about what happened. So I think what really helped me was that focus, the
Yeah.
smaller chunk sizes, and then that accountability.
Yeah.
Because the moment, so me and my husband have now been married for 8 years. We were dating when we did the course. And I remember that one of the things that we had to do was a vision board. And both of us ended up making a vision board where we put a picture of both of us in the middle. And there was like dreams of the house, like different holidays and whatever. And if I look at my life right now, so much of that has actually happened. And
Wow.
because we actually visualized what we wanted for ourselves, and then we realized, well, this person's actually aligned to what I want in my life, we actually ended up getting engaged much quicker. Because I think when was that? That was October or November when we did the course, and we
Yes.
got engaged that December, and we were married by June the next year. So so be careful if you
Amazing.
go on Michael's course. You might
Yeah,
just
be
end up
careful.
marrying someone.
You might just reach your dreams and make your life.
So that was, yeah, that was one of the things. There was another thing that I remember very well. It was an exercise where we had to go into writing our own eulogy from the perspective of a family member and a friend. And as I was doing this, I burst out in tears because I realized that I had really neglected family members because I was in this new relationship. And when I looked at what I wrote, what they would say if I had to die at that moment, I knew that's not what I would want those people to say. So I almost rewrote it in the way that I wanted them to say
Mm.
about me. And I actually put certain practices in place to contact those family members more, to prioritize spending more vacations with them, to be more intentional with the relationships. I think sometimes it actually shows you your blind spots, and it's good to see yourself from
Very
another
powerful
person's
point of view.
perspective and
Yeah.
also the legacy to say, and we don't know. I mean, I've had friends that one of my friends drowned in the sea at Fidi in Mozambique. We don't know how long our lives are going to be. So we're never guaranteed of how much time we actually have with people, whether
Yeah.
it's us or them that goes. So we better make the most of every moment.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, really great. I know, yeah, many people in your group had a huge, profound experiences from the course. And what would you tell people who want to do the course online or with a facilitator?
I think your work is profound, and also your co-writer Kirsten Long also has excellent insights from a coaching perspective. So having the expertise of two coaches that have co-created this program will definitely be beneficial. And if you're in a program, and if it's possible for you to get into a live version where there's actually a group and where there's that accountability, you will probably benefit a lot more. Like
Mm.
for me, for instance, if I've tried to do the artist way on my own, but it never works. So the moment, and you said this to
Yes.
me, the moment you're in a program,
Yeah.
the moment there's that accountability, just the fact that there are other people there means that you will do more. And
Yeah.
if you, the moment you actually invest a little bit more money, you actually yourself will find more value in spending more time on it
Yeah.
versus if it's just the one-stop solution online.
Mm.
But some people don't have the budget, then do it on your own. And maybe you could get another friend to also do it on their own, and maybe you could then discuss with each other, and in that way create that accountability, or you and your partner
Yeah.
both do it. But I would definitely say try to get a buddy along or some kind of accountability along. And I think if they then go and find specific issues that they need more help with, that's where the one-on-one help always works quite well. I've seen with my leadership work that a lot of people will come on a program, but then they don't quite deal with everything that they need to on their own. So then they enroll in coaching for themselves. So these
Mm,
can also kind of supplement each other to get a taster of what it would be like to
mm.
have coaching from you. It's maybe a more accessible way
Yes.
of getting access to you versus immediately one-on-one work.
Well, that's what's great about the platform that we are presenting is not only will there be online courses, but we're also going to have facilitators that you can book to help guide you throughout the program. And some of these facilitators will help you personally so that you have someone to be accountable. And some of them will have membership clubs where you can join. So yeah, it's out there that this is what makes us different, and you can see now the power of the group and the power of doing a program that's set and formulated for your growth. Great. So, how's the marriage going? All well.
Yeah, yes. I
Fantastic.
think I think as with anything in life, we also needed to get our help. So we did get some coaching during our marriage. And I think if you don't work on your relationships, it also doesn't work out. So it also took us a bit of time. I think the first 2 years of marriage was quite tough. So I realized that even if I'm teaching people communication skills, boundaries, various skills, I had to learn to apply that myself. And what I've found, what's quite interesting, my husband always loves, I use a lot of examples of out of our life in my own training work because a marriage is an example of a team.
Yes.
And so I think you learn a lot from your partners and those relationships that where you have to learn to not run out of the room and to be curious and to
Yes.
teach each other things and to resolve the conflict no matter what.
And that's important. And I think that's quite amazing that I know for myself as a coach as well, we have to walk our talk, because if we don't do that, we can't really help anyone else to get into a better space.
Definitely.
So that's really, really nice. Great. So, what new plans do you have moving forward?
At the moment, I'm doing a lot of podcasts on leadership with my colleague in Norway, Thomas Ramstad, and
Yes,
we're busy on a writing project as well. And what's really lovely is as we're delving into a lot of the content, it's actually leading to inquiries for work, which was the original idea for the writing. But
yes,
now already the podcast is creating a lot of interest. And what I've seen is the moment you speak about something, you can really see if you're passionate about it to want to do work about it. Because as a, a good friend that you also know, Douglas Kruger once said,
mm,
don't write about something that you don't want to speak about. So you
yes,
need to be very certain that you don't write about things that is not part of your future vision of the work that you want to do. So sometimes that has already happened with the podcast where I would get really excited, but it might derail the kind of work that I want to do. And it's not my core focus and expertise. So it's been a really good um, experiment to actually see
mm,
what are those topics.
yes,
And
yes.
that's part of the process. Yeah.
Well,
So a
that's
lot of
nice.
that's one
So
of
it's
the big projects at the moment.
continually growing, continually expanding. I love that. I love that about you. What do you tell people who are not interested in personal development, don't really want to grow? What would your advice to them be?
Alan Vaz, the $1 million consultant, said, while you were sleeping, the world has changed. So if you're not going to keep on evolving, innovating, and growing, what's happening is you're actually moving backwards. So
Yes.
by simply thinking that you're staying at the same spot, the world is actually moving ahead and going to leave you very far behind.
Yeah.
So, if we're looking at specifically in businesses, I keep on going back to this old classic book, Who Moved My Cheese? And
Yes.
so many people struggle with They think they've evolved and they think they've arrived at cheese station C and life is amazing and they're now entitled and they're going to have cheese forever.
Yes.
I've done qualifications. I'm set. This is my life. My one friend always jokes about it. She got married many, many, many years before me, and she always joked and said, I'm fine, I'm married. And I was like, oh my word, but she was being sarcastic to kind of
Yes.
like say, is that the only goal you have in your life? Is that your value of success or happiness? You know, having a certain relationship title. And ultimately you need to look at if you wanted to leave a legacy for others, are they perhaps old wounds that you have that you've not dealt with?
Mm.
Or are they maybe other people that you could help because of your experience? So
Yeah.
sometimes people don't actually have a lot of issues in themselves. And I love that because for me, I'm not a very big fan of doing, let's say, trauma counseling or that kind of thing. That's not my niche area. For me, it's about more, like you're saying, transformation of individuals or teams or leaders to make them even better.
Yes.
Because very often, and I've seen this, I've had leaders come on my coaching and they would not be serious. They wouldn't pitch up half the time. They would cancel their appointments. But then you have those from the same company that's paying the same amount of money that have a massive ripple effect that impact everyone's culture, that motivate their team, where everything that they've learned in the training, they're now implementing it. And I'm just like, wow,
Yes. It's crazy.
it's the same product, but just a person's attitude and mindset can make all of the biggest difference whether you actually kind of do something about it. It's like having a gym contract. Do you actually go to the gym
Yeah.
and exercise and get your workout on in the best possible way, or do you just have it?
Yeah.
So, what choice are you going to make?
And that's it. We all have those tools available, but how we use it and implement it and find such value in it is the secret, actually. That's like the application of that, which is so important.
Yeah, there's millions of information out there. You can Google or chat GPT most things right now. But your biggest blocks will be in your own mind.
Mm.
The negative voices you have there that's stopping you from taking action. So if you can get into some kind of a program with accountability that will give you the discipline to actually take action, do the work in smaller chunk sizes, that's where you get real value and results.
Yes, the results come from accountability and just knowing that you have to do this and show up for yourself, but it's someone's there as well to help you to do it. It's great.
Verity Price said something very, very cool on an interview the other day. She said 25% of success is your IQ and your skills and capabilities, and 75% is your optimism, your positive outlook over life, your community, and your ability to reframe. So,
Yeah.
to change a negative thing into a positive and
Mm.
learning from it. And
Mm.
I've found I've worked with a lot of intellectual people and people that people that don't actually develop the right EQ and are not actually able to have a positive outlook over life. They don't actually see opportunities as well.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, one of the biggest areas for a person struggling with a fixed mindset that says, I don't want to do this type of work. If you can just focus on positive psychology and starting to look at the options out there and what your life could look like. And I think that's what was quite positive with your course. It's focusing more on what you want rather than what you don't want. It's more focused on the life that you want,
Mm.
drawing you towards that and creating that. And I know you even had a module about dreaming.
Yes.
A lot of us have stopped dreaming. So
Mm.
you need to force yourself to dream
Yeah.
again.
And I think to maybe also like go deeper into Verity's like statistics, it's not about like just having the kind of monetary success or something like that. It's about the full success, actually enjoying it, actually enjoying the process, helping other people, working together. I mean, that's a completely different kind of success than just making money and just say, okay, good, we made this much profit. Yeah, move on. You know, it's completely different. And I think that's what we're all about. We want fulfilled success, not just one aspect.
Fulfillment,
Mm,
definitely.
yeah. So it's been so good talking to you. Do you have a pearl of advice that you could share with us before we end?
So my company's metaphor is called the Kintsugi Queen. So my pearl of advice would be, if you're noticing cracks in your life or in your team, areas where things aren't as smooth as you would want it to be, can you go and find gold to actually fix it and put it back together and transform it into something more wonderful? Can you
Mm,
learn from past mistakes?
mm,
Can you actually look back over those times where there were cracks and actually see, if that crack didn't happen, who would I not be today? And if we can learn from those past cracks and experiences and see how that shaped us into this beautiful art piece we are today,
mm.
that's where you'll find a lot of value.
Wonderful. Yeah, the kintsugi is the art, the Japanese art of putting pottery and ceramics together with gold or some kind of metal, and thereby
Yes.
making the cracked piece a work of art by using the gold. It's remarkable. So
I
well done.
was blown away. Just the last little word. I was blown away this morning. I was actually listening to a sermon and they spoke about Kintsugi. And I literally almost fell off my exercise bike. And I took screenshots where they were talking about Kintsugi and
Yes.
how in our life there might be hurts and how it shaped us. And I was like, wow, if that was not an indication that what I'm doing is right, I don't know what is. So
Yes.
you can actually notice the work that you do can actually really make a big difference in others' lives. And life is not always going to be smooth sailing. And
Mm.
it's okay. That's
Mm.
where we learn, that's where we grow. People don't learn through our successes, they actually learn through our failures.
Yeah. And to take the crack and to repair it and make it more precious. It's not all roses and sunshine. You know, we have to have rain and storms. So wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time and your energy and your great insights. I will obviously be
It was
leaving
amazing.
all of your details in the description so people can get hold of you. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Yay. So everyone, have a look at our courses, lifechangingcourses.co.za, and become part of the community. And remember to like and subscribe to this channel. And until next time, goodbye, everyone.